I'm Gail's Gig Review, so I'm Gail and Metallaville Online Magazine, and you are the magnificent Peter Lee. How are you?
I'm all right if I introduce myself. I'm the idiot who sings for Lawnmower Death, but good to meet you.
Yes, Lawnmower Deth, the band I got into in the early 90s, thanks to a random coach trip from my hometown, Chesterfield. We went to Nottingham, where I got to
Okay.
see you play, and the chaos descended. And I was stood there, not hearing your music before, thinking, what the hell am I watching?
So, yeah, and about 40 years later, we asked the question, what the hell are we playing? But there you go.
You sang a song which is just like forever stuck in my head, and I do sing it periodically to my children, and they look at me like I'm some sort of idiot. Enter the Church of the Apocalyptic Lawnmower.
Them were the days. We haven't
Yeah,
played that for a long time, but it
haven't
was
you?
fun.
That's the song I associate with you whenever I think Lomo. That's the one that's in my
I,
head.
I remember playing Chesterfield a million years ago.
Yeah. Oh, you need to come back.
I don't know, it's been a long time. It's been a really long time. Oh, we played Nottingham last week. That's kind of Chesterfield car park, isn't it? It's next door.
Yeah, I was gutted I couldn't go to that one thanks to plans going array as they usually do.
So
And
it
I was
works. That's
sat there
family life.
cursing it. I know, family life. So you started in 87 with friends. Are you all
Yes.
still friends and still continuing?
Yeah, we are all still friends. Yeah, I mean, it's still, I mean, the original friends were me, Steve, and Chris. We all went to school together, which is probably why we sound so infantile. But, we're old schoolmates. So that was the three of us. I've known them since 79. I think Steve and Chris have
Wow.
known each other longer than that. Um, and I mean, Flymo was the original drummer, but he gave up a few years ago just because he couldn't keep up. But he's still mates with us, and in fact, he was at the gig on Saturday night.
Oh,
Paddy's
wow.
been with us pretty much since about 89, I think, 88, 89, something like that. So yeah, we're all still mates, absolutely. Yeah. We only do it because we're mates. It's go down the pub or do this. It's, take your pick. Going
Well, I'm
down the
glad
pub
you're
might
doing
be
this
easier these
because
days, but
yeah, I'm glad you're doing this because some of your songs I absolutely love. Um, you've done some crazy covers. There's one of them which I read that you did a cover, but I literally cannot find it anywhere, and that's Fleetwood Mac's The Chain.
oh, blimey. We did do the very, very first gig, which was probably 87. Um, we did a cover of the chain, yeah, but we never recorded it. It's never, I
Uh,
think we probably played it once. We had a habit of doing stuff like that. But yeah, we've done a few covers over the years, some more notorious than others.
well, yeah, I've got Motorhead, which is absolute class. Um, Jimi Hendrix Purple Haze, which I'll not say much about that one.
Well, that was just hidden in the back of a CD, wasn't it? That was like a run-off track, so,
Yeah,
and a few
yeah,
beers
something
before
about
it.
you wish you broke his leg and things like that. In the one I couldn't find, I'm sure it's on Osmond's Crazy Horses. In fact, I did find it. I sort of half listened to it while children were talking to me. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's on the Clowns album. That
yeah, that's right. So Osmond's Crazy. I mean, it is a quite a different sort of mix. Um, but my
it's just
favourite
a
is
heavier mix. I mean, it's a great song. In all fairness, it's a
yeah.
brilliant song. It's Crazy Horses, but yeah, it was just us doing a bit chunkier.
Well, it was their heavy metal song, wasn't it? Like Beatles had Helter Skelter, that was their heavy metal song, and
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
so yes,
So
it's a good cover.
Motley Crue nicked that one, so we had this one instead.
You can still do it, obviously. Your take. I'm sure it'll be infinitely better than anything Motley Crue could do because I'm not a fan. So
Motley Crue was brilliant. I used to
my
love
lass,
Motley Crue.
my lass is sat over there scowling at me because she loves Motley Crue.
Yeah, Crue were proper. They were a real deal.
Yeah. When Crew were out, I was more into Slayer and Megadeth and headbanging and You know,
Oh
when
yeah.
I look back now thinking, what the hell were I playing at? Because all the women went for crew, and here I am headbanging and moshing with a load of blokes.
Unless it
Yeah,
was Lawnmower Death. Lawnmower Death was a crossover.
yeah.
You know, we were like a thrash band or a punk band, whichever way you look at us. But you know, we got equal audience. We weren't all smelly boys.
You sort of reminded me of the American
Some
band Green
girls used to
Jelly.
come to our gigs once upon a time.
Yeah. Yeah, you sort of remind me of Green Jelly, the American sort of punk
Okay.
band. Yeah, you're on the same sort of path as them, the same sort of sound.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, in my mind, we're just a crossover band. That's what we always were. You know, we were just like, we're just a punk metal band, mainly down to inability rather than design. But, you know, we were always like a punk metal band. We still are. You know, we go out to Europe, I think we're a punk band. Over here, we're probably seen as more of a metal band. But, you know, I just think with that crossover bit in between, really.
Yeah. Well, I think you sit somewhere in between the punk and
Yeah.
metal. You have a lot of tracks which are definitely thrash, and then you listen to which one is it? I wrote it down. The name of the title. My handwriting's terrible. When I want to look at something, I literally cannot see
My
it.
handwriting, my memory.
Um,
Where are we going? Are we going for the last album? Are you going for
it's
punk
it's that
covers?
it's that oomph
Oh,
ooluf
Billy,
song.
the song.
That's definitely punk, and you can't sing along to that one.
It's all punk. It's all good punk.
That's a brilliant song, that one. And obviously, you got some even better ones like Nasal Infection and I Got the Clap, and my knob fell off. And
These are like really early tracks. I mean, I was doing this on Saturday night. If you'd made it, you'd have realised my shame because I'm 57 years old these days. Yeah, I wrote they were when we were like 18 years old. It was hilarious when I was 18, writing songs like that. Hysterical. And now you're 57, and my kids are in the audience, and my wife's in the audience, and they still make me occasionally play those kind of songs. It brings deep shame.
do your kids find it you cringy, or do they absolutely love it?
Kids love it. They'll cringe if you ask them publicly, but they love it. I think it's like caring the community for them or something. You know, it's just like, oh God, you know, what's he doing now?
Because I'm
But no,
talking about
they're
your
there.
early stuff.
They wouldn't keep coming to the gigs if they didn't like it. I'm sure.
Yeah. Did they get involved in moshing?
Yeah, they're what 23 and 27. My kids. My daughter doesn't go in the pit. Um, my son has been in the pit on occasion. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I can't do the pit anymore. I'm sadly a
Neither
bit
can we. I wouldn't
knackered.
bloody go in there. Why would you want to go in there? It's ridiculous. And they are still quite tasty, our pits. I mean, it
Yeah.
was really tasty on Saturday night.
I bet it were. Did you get any stage divers? You don't. That don't happen these days, does it?
No, it does. It's more stage rolling than diving, I think. Or it was on Saturday, but the venue, you know, if you know the rescue rooms, it's quite a
Yes.
nice
Yeah.
room, isn't it? It's like, you know,
Yeah.
nice big room and you've got your balcony and stuff like that. So it doesn't really sort of lend itself. We're out in Holland last year. It was like nothing I'd ever seen in 40 years, you know. It was like Holland was like it was like 1986 again. It was insane. You know.
I'd like to have seen
So
that.
oh yeah, it was tasty. You know, it was yeah, it was a really full on gig that one. So it was at the Dynamo, and it was yeah. I'm glad I wasn't in the pit. Put it that way.
So I love it when it gets a bit mental. Yeah, I get that whole testosterone. And I want to go in, but unfortunately, I'm usually sat watching, unable to do it anymore. But I
Yeah,
still get that
that's the
urge.
sensible approach. I just sit there going ooh my knees, and you know, so I'm not going in the pit.
So I go back to your original stuff because that's what I get it. That's my era. That's what I when I got into you. And unfortunately, as I got older, my musical taste changed. And it's only recently where I've sort of picked up your catalogue again and gone, oh my God, I remember this song. I remember this song. And you did
Go for the last album. That's the one. The last
Yeah,
album's an absolute ripper. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I've
I
been
won't listen
listening to
to
it. It's
any.
very good.
I don't listen to any of my own back catalogue apart from that. I'm really proud of the last album. It's fantastic.
Yeah, because you released that in 2022 as Blunt Cutters.
Yeah,
Have you got a
definitely.
new album or any new music set to come out?
We've got music, if that's what you want to call it. Yeah, we've been demoing stuff recently. I'm not sure how many there are. It's probably about a dozen tracks, I think, at the moment, knocking about, stuff like that, and in varying states. So there's some that still need vocals, some will put vocals too, or very loose vocals. But the way we tend to do it's just the way of the world these days, isn't it? We're all dispersed. You know, I don't live in Nottingham anymore. I'm 130, 140 miles up the road. So,
Yeah.
popping around your mate's house and recording something isn't that easy these days. But so we've all got recording stuff at home. So I'll record. They'll record at that end, send me some stuff up. I'll shout over it and send it back down. They'll tell me it's shit, send it back again, and so on. But there's probably about a dozen in some shape or form that could well make it. Actually, there's some good stuff in there. So we'll see where we go to. I think we'd like to, I think we'd like to get another album out before we fall over.
Well, I think there's been a research of this type of music, and there's a lot of people like myself which are revisiting what we used to be into and then refinding you, which is what I've done
Yeah,
recently. So there is a call for Lawnmower Death, and there's definitely a fan base for Lawnmower Death, and we always like to hear new music.
honestly, it's never been better than it is now for us. Um, we play bigger shows than we ever played back in the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah.
We play festivals, we play big shows in our own right and stuff like that. So we'll play anything from very small club to a decent club or whatever it is. But we get good crowds. We're getting to go out to Europe again now, which is really nice. Went to Portugal for the first time this year, which we'd never done Portugal before, and things like that. So it's definitely there. But I think you're right. It's there's an element of those of us that haven't moved on and we're old enough, and we go back and regress and do that, and then they're bringing their kids, and then there's a
Yeah.
whole new wave of thrash kids and punk kids and hardcore kids about as well. So we played Manchester last month, and that was a really youthful audience, which was quite unnerving in all honesty. I'm used to looking at 40 and 50-year-old people who were puffing and panting their way through a gig, and suddenly this was like full of teenagers and stuff like that. That was like really odd, but they were really into it. So then
Yeah.
they're kind of discovering the original stuff, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we're at that time of year, and you do covers. You did one of my favourites, Kids in America, from one of my favourite singers
Yeah,
behind
yeah, there
me.
she is.
There she is. So we're at that time of the year. Fuck you, Christmas. Why haven't you re-released it?
Well, it's there, isn't it? You don't need to reissue it. I mean, the way it is these days, it's just constantly there. Go on Spotify or Amazon Music or Apple Music or whatever. It never goes away now. Um, but the interesting thing is on that one, it's picked up a bit of national airplay this year. So Radio
Yeah.
2 have been playing it, and Simon Mayo, bless him, has been playing it, and stuff like that. And it's really weird because nobody had played it first time
Yeah.
because it was a bit naughty.
So the
And
title, yeah.
but weirdly, which I'd never really associated it, but it was treated as anti-Christian, which I thought it was never the intention. It's just a fucking Pogues rip-off, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
just Fairy Tale of New York. It's like I love Christmas, you hate Christmas. That's what it is.
Exactly.
But but they thought because it was FU Christmas, then that made it sacrilegious, and so the radio won't play it. Much to Kim's delight, actually, I've got to say, she was quite pleased with herself because it was her who came up with the fuck part of it.
Yeah.
I'd written nice lyrics, and it wasn't called that at all. And then when we sent it down to her and the vocals came back, she'd sworn all over it like a trooper. Which she done. It was great. But yeah, consequently, it just got banned and won't get played anyway. But suddenly they've all started playing it, so it's all right to be cheeky now, apparently. So there you go.
How
So we don't
how
need
did
to
you get
reissue it, but
How did you get such a legend singing with Lawnmower Death? Or should I say, how did Kim Wilde get such a legend, Lawnmower Death, singing with her?
It's that way round, isn't it? It's not. It's the other way. How did it happen? It's a very long story. So we ended up on her radar because of the original version that we did of it. And everybody's done Kids in America. I mean, Foo Fighters have done it, Green Day have done it. Everybody's had a go at it after us. Um, but it got introduced to her. I've seen the footage, and it gets introduced to her on German TV. And she's doing an interview on German TV, and they play it to her. And she just said it was the best version of Kids she'd ever heard because everybody else just does a normal version of it, and we just ruined it, I think. So she always loved it and loved us for it. But we never met. And then years and years and years later, um, um, it was I think it was something I can't remember what it was. I think it was one of those anti Simon Cowell, anti X Factor moments when fan base decided they were going to try and get it reissued and get it to number one. For Christmas to get rid of the X Factor, something like that. And we just said, look, we're not going to reissue it, but fill your boots. If you want to go for it, go for it. And so they were all campaigning on social media and stuff like that. And I saw a load of fans starting to badger her on Twitter and stuff like that. And they were, giving it large on there. So I just messaged her. I just said, I'm really sorry. They're just being enthusiastic and that. They're lovely, really. But, it's a bit of fun. And she just got straight back in touch and said, I think it's great. You want to come for a beer? And that was it. So I went for a beer with her in London. And because I'm showbiz like that. And so I went down and met her. And we had a really nice night out and stuff like that. And we just got chatting. And it's when we were going to do download. And I said, look, we're playing download. Do you fancy coming to do a download with us? Just chancing my arm. And she went, yeah, all right. So it was as easy as that, really. So she came and did download. And then that went so well because nobody saw that coming. And it just went down an absolute storm of download, bringing her on stage.
That's you were brilliant.
I said, well, do you want to do it again? I've got an idea for a Christmas song, it was nothing. I mean, I say I've got an idea. It was just I have an idea. That's all it was. Steve had got the music, so Steve wrote a really great song. I got the idea, and she said, "Well, send it over," and that was it. So we sent it to her. She thought it was great. Ricky, her brother, rearranged it and put the pop magic on it, and there you go. That's how you get a single. But we just asked. We're just good mates, really, these days. Still hear from her, and she's great. She's everything you wanted to be. She's proper pop princess and absolute royalty, and she's brilliant.
I've seen her live a few times. To say that I'm a massive Iron Maiden fan and Megadeth and Iron Maiden Slayer, I'm not saying I've got a lot of her stuff. I'm not saying I'm a big fan
Plenty of it.
or anything like that. I'm not saying I've got all her 7-inch singles either.
She's fab.
But I'd love to do it. I'd love to do an interview with her as well, but we'll see if I could ever make that happen.
I've interviewed her.
You've interviewed her.
It was on YouTube. I did an interview with her when the album came out. We got to come along and have a chat with me. It was ace. She's
all right. I'll have to see if I can I can make that one happen.
Google it out. It's there.
I know it's out on. It was out on CD. I was wondering if you've got any more copies I could sort of buy off you.
Do you know? I don't have a copy. I bet you it's on eBay though. You know, on eBay, it'll be there.
I've had a look. I'll not tell you how much it's going for on eBay.
Really? Is it going for proper money?
Yeah.
Wow. What's proper money? More than 10 cents?
It's something like about £80.
Really? Yes.
Yeah. Why do you think I'm on here blagging? Why do you think I'm on here blagging?
Honestly, if I could help you out, I would. I haven't got a copy of it. I've got a Christmas decoration she made for me. You can't have that either. That goes pride of place on my tree.
I bet it does. So you knew Alden because I like my quirky shirts. So here I've got the Cookie Monster. You did blunt cutter. You could do cookie cutter and do it in the style of Cookie Monster, and then you can credit me for the idea.
There you go. Noted. We won't credit anybody, but I'm nicking the idea.
You did in in 2008. You supported Bullet for my Valentine at
We did.
Alexandra Palace.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What did the young fans make of you before? Because there's a big difference between you and Bullet.
Yeah, they hated us, I think. I don't know. I don't honestly, the place is so big, it's like a 10,000 seat arena that.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell you what they thought to it because they were so far away. But um, there was plenty of the old Lawnmower fans came out because they thought there was their one opportunity. Little did they know. I
yeah.
think probably what happened was we baffled most of them. I think some of them just thought we was like some geriatrics that had been sent out for care in the community. And weirdly, young people don't like it when you swear. They get quite upset about it. And we do quite a lot of swearing in this band, not by intention,
Yeah,
but
I
it
haven't
just happens.
noticed.
And yeah, they seem to get quite upset when you swear at them. I really don't know. I mean, it was good enough to get us download, so
Yeah,
we must have done okay. But yeah, Copying
it's
came and
like
booked us for download off that gig.
yeah. I was just totally baffled. How did you end up covering and supporting Bullet?
So the Bullet link was, I think it was Padge, their guitarist, was a Lawnmower fan when he was a kid. So a
Yeah,
couple of them were Lawnmower fans because they're younger than us, aren't they? So they would have been our fan base, or a couple of them were. But Kev, who was our guitarist after Paddy went, so Kev was in Acid Rain, then we pinched him out of Acid Rain. He was in Lawnmower, kind of across Clowns and Billy at that period and stuff like that. So and Kev ended up going on to be Yannick Gare's guitar tech in Maiden,
yeah,
and then ended up being Padge's guitar tech in Bullet from a Valentine. I think it just came out one night after they'd all been drinking and they found out Kev was in Bullet. Sorry, Kev was in Lawnmower, not in Bullet, one of theirs age. Which band was he in? So yeah, they found out Kev was in Lawnmower and said, "This is mental. You've got to get back together and come and play a gig." And that's when they were doing the Ali Pally, and it was going to be their biggest ever UK show that they'd done. So that was it. Kev just phoned up and said, "Do you want to get back together for a one-off?" Which was all it was supposed to be. We're just going to do one gig, um, and so that's how it happened. They asked us to do it, idiots. No, yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
well, you did a headline set at Rescue Rooms with Reanimator, Line of Fire, Zentrix for Sophie, and you raised over
Yeah,
eight
yeah, we
thousand
did. Yeah.
pound, I believe. Yeah, that's
Hmm.
such a worthy cause. Absolutely amazing that.
We'll back that charity any day of the week they ask me to. So it's
Yeah,
where I live. I said I don't live locally. I live near where the whole event was so I'm not I'm about 10 miles away from the town that Sophie lived in. So it was pretty close to heart anyway, as it would be for anybody who's into metal or punk, to be perfectly honest. It's
yeah,
just, that's our background, isn't it? And it was one of us. But I because of that, and I'd met Adam and so on, that I said, "Look, what can we do?" And that was it. So we used the whole gig to as an excuse to rattle a book in. A lot of very kind people got behind us as a band to help us. So Andy Copping was a big one with the download
yeah,
thing. He came in with, we said we'd do a raffle and stuff like that. We had proper prizes. We weren't giving away, nonsense for a change. It was things like, you can have backstage passes for download, or a Marshall that had been signed by everybody in the universe and stuff like that. I think Patch from
yeah.
Bullet gave a guitar, and things like that. So we managed to raise a reasonable chunk of money for them, which was great to do. But we'd help
That's
them out any
fantastic.
day. It's important.
Yeah. So, what's next for Lawnmower Death? We've touched on that you're writing
Well,
new
I'd
material.
like to say, we're just going to pack it in and go to sleep. Because you know, but we're not quite there yet. Um, beard like that these days, I've probably got a busy couple of weeks coming up with the elves and shit like that. But after that, um, gigs mainly at the moment. There's about another three or four gigs to be getting on with.
Yeah.
Cardiff's announced. I'm trying to think which is announced and which isn't before I go and blab. Cardiff's announced we're doing the O2 in Leicester, which will be the closest one for you. So we're playing at the O2 with Pitch Shifter, which will be good fun. I've not seen them for years, those boys. So we've got that. There's another one to come out. The Christmas show for next year is just in the process of getting booked. And then there's the usual rubbish that happens when you're in a band, which is you get ludicrous offers. It's whether they come through or not. But there is a conversation about possibly going and play in LA. We'll see if that comes to fruition. That'd be a lot of fun if that happens, because we haven't done America. So I would like to do that one as a bucket list before I pack it in. There's a festival offering in Greece that's getting talked about at the moment. So we haven't done Greece either. So I fancy a couple more European jaunts. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We're not quite ready for giving up yet, but we are at the point when it really hurts when you do a gig.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Keep an
Yeah.
eye on what Kim Wilde does, because if she's going to do Glastonbury anytime soon, you need to have a guest spot and really
About
upset the
honestly,
Glasgow audience.
I've said this to her before. Why the hell they haven't given her the legend slot yet? I don't know. They
It
must
should
be
be on the
bent.
legend slot. 100% should be on that legend slot because she's
It's got to
absolutely
be coming.
brilliant live.
Well, I mean, the thing with Kim is, she's properly back in the game as well. I think. I mean, she won't mind me saying this. Uh, when we were tinkering a few years ago, like we all do, there's peaks and troughs, and it goes like that, doesn't it? Um,
Yeah.
and 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 she'd been and done the gardening career, and she didn't really want to be Kim Wilde anymore and stuff like that. And then there was sticking her toe back in the pond and so on. Suddenly, I mean, she took over the BBC a couple of Saturday nights ago, didn't she? She like had a
Yeah.
2 hour special or whatever. She is really top of her game at the moment. Good for her.
Yes,
I'm delighted.
definitely. Yeah. So that's one to watch out for because I'd love to see you upset the Glasgow audience because they won't know
Well,
what's hit them.
we did have a talk about Glastonbury a couple of years ago, so there was an inkling of a chance, which didn't come off, but it would have been a lot of fun. We've played some really weird festivals in our time. We did Festival a few years ago. That was
Yeah.
Rob the Bank wanted a few metal bands, so he got us and Napalm Death and Diamond Head, I think, as well. We all went and played at his festival, but we were playing with Jess Glynn and the Wailers and Human League, who were amazing, by the way. Human League were just incredible that night. So we do get to play really weird stuff. We'd get away with Glastonbury if they asked us.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you'd go down a storm, to be honest.
Yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be
Yeah.
fun. But whether anybody offers, Michael needs to come and ask us, I'd say yes. Yes, of course I would.
Give me a minute to think. Right. My beautiful lady always gives me a question to ask at the end of interviews. And
Terrific. Is it? Let me preempt
sorry,
it. Is this question going to be what flavour yogurt do I like? Because you wouldn't believe how many people ask me that question.
amazingly, no. It's
I'm
tell
really
us,
pleased. Good, let's go for it then.
yeah, tell us something about yourself that we don't know.
Something I don't know. God, it's all very public these days, isn't it? You can go on the internet, you find out what you need to know. What I, I don't know what I want to tell you. I really don't know where to go with that. It's a good question. I don't often get stumped. Tell you something I don't know. I don't really like heavy metal. I don't listen to thrash. So I listen to a lot of folk music these days. Is what I listen to. I feel like I'm now publicly out to myself. You know, um, I'm, I'm stumped. Tell her
You
well done
stumped.
for putting a question in that says, "Tell you something that I don't want to tell you." I don't know what to say to that one. That's great. Good effort. I'll come back to you over the forthcoming weeks and give you an answer.
That's a cop out.
I know, isn't it? It's good politicians answer that.
Well, it's been a genuine pleasure talking to you,
My
and
pleasure. You're absolutely
hopefully I
welcome.
can catch up next year at a show or two. We'll be, come and see you.
Yeah, well, I played in your back garden last week, and you couldn't
I
make
know,
it. So,
I know.
you've had your chips for that one. But Leicester, I think, is your best opportunity.
Yeah, yeah. I'll keep an eye out, and thank you very much for your time. It
You're
really has
really
been a
welcome.
pleasure.
Thanks for wanting to do it, Dale. I'll chat to anybody, mate. So I appreciate it. And tell your wife I've still got no idea. But there we go.
All right, thank you, and I'll see you later.
All right, fella. Good to see you.